Hey, welcome back everybody. So if you haven't hit that like button and subscribe, now's the time to go ahead and do that because you're not going to want to miss what we got coming up. So behind me is our junkyard LS. I'm getting ready to start disassembly on that to get some of the things broken down to where we can actually get it cleaned up, looking good and ready to go in the car. Now Noah is actually over here working on the drive shaft, trying to get it out of the car because I'm guessing time we get the engine and transmission in, we're probably going to have it shortened, so it's going to come out anyway, and it just makes it a lot easier to move the car around. So let's get into this. And okay, so I'm getting ready to get all the harness and all the stuff that the junkyard has left on the engine off here so we can at least see what we're dealing with. So let me get this over here to where you can see it a little bit better. If you look, yeah, I mean they left everything intact and literally just cut it out and said, here you go, here's your engine. So I'm gonna go ahead, I've got a pick here. I'm gonna start going ahead and trying to get some of these little lines and stuff off here. Like this is a vacuum line that goes over to fuel rail. So some of this stuff is gonna be really tight and it's just gonna snap and break off. That's freaking awesome. So this I was going to save. Obviously now I'll be fixing that before or maybe I'll just buy a LS vacuum line kit because that's broken again. Add it to the pile. But all right, let's go ahead and we'll get this loose. Oh, come on, this thing has been sitting around for who knows how long. But the reason I'm using a pick because it makes it so much easier to get these little tabs off here. And these are actually the connectors for the coil packs. And like I said, they're just really in there, really good. So I'm just gonna pick it, take the wiring harness out as I go. And this looks like that is going to the BBC system. Get that out of the way so I can see what I'm doing here. Fuel injector. Ah, come on. Wow. Definitely tell this engine has not been touched for many years. Even when you pop the little safety clip up, it still doesn't want to come out. Okay. I'm going to hook it and try to pull from the bottom. There it went. Alright, same process on this. Hook it and pull from the bottom. Now I'm going to show you guys something here in just a second. So let me get this over here where you can see it real quick here if you guys aren't familiar with an LS. So if you look right here is the connector that goes on the fuel injector. Now what they've done from the factory on some of these older gen LSs like this, they have put a little safety clip in it. Now I'm trying to do this one-handed because I'm holding the camera with the other, but once we get this in here like that, it basically snaps into position and doesn't allow you to unsnap that and it come off the injector. So what you have to do is you reach down here and you snap it off. So let me get this right here and I'll show you what I'm doing. So you reach down here and you got to snap it off like so. Then you can reach down there and get the tab and pull it off the injector. In case you're not familiar with an LS, that's how I normally do it. Now, let's go ahead and get this position where you can see right here. All right, so what I'm doing is basically I've got the safety clip pulled off. I reach down here with my thumb and I get down here underneath the connector and then I pull forward. It comes right off. Same process here. And like I said, sometimes it is fairly tight down in there. All right, and it comes right off there. Now I'm dropping stuff. Get our wiring harness that the junkyard so conveniently cut. So that means we'll have to do a little bit of other work to it in order to get everything to work out. 2 harnesses will make 1 for the LS. Okay, and there, that one's loose. Now, pull this loose in the main connector, right here on the coil packs, and that should be loose. Always got a little one heart that goes down here, get loose. And that's free. So we're actually getting somewhere on this. That off, this loose, snap that off. All right, that should be free. Of course, obviously I can take the 10mm bolt off right there, which is probably what I'll do, and just leave that intact and pull it all off together. All right, so we have got all the wiring harness off of it. Now I'll start working on the vacuum lines and the other little things like the hoses and stuff that I've left on there. But right now we're gonna go over here and check on Noah and see how he's doing. So let's get after it. Okay, so while we were working on the LS here and getting it tore down, Noah's over there going ahead and getting the drive shaft out of it. We actually had to get another impact in order to do that. I'm going to help him with that here in a second. But before that, we actually took a little break, thought we'd get a sandwich or something because it is about lunchtime. And well, we come across these, seen them out here wandering around. There is 2 of them, so I'll let you go ahead and show what we did find.
It's a little scared.
Yeah, we found just, you know, barely weaned kitten, and we found 2 so far. We don't know if there's any more, but now something we want to cover here actually while we're at it is, you know, here at Rods and Rifles, we do not condone you taking your animals out and dumping them off. I know we have a lot of space here. I know we have, you know, means to be able to take care of this, but at the same time, we do not condone it because these guys cannot fend for themselves. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make sure we either find a home for it or we will keep it ourselves and we will have a shop cat. But either way, you know, this is what's happened, and just kind of wanted to mention that because we see it often too many times that, you know, someone can't care for their animal and they take it out and they just get rid of it by whatever means. So, you know, again, obviously, you know, this may be the case. There's been a stray cat. We haven't seen any stray cats, so I speculate that it's just kind of somebody brought it, but we're, you know, going to make sure that we care for it. And like I said, there is another little kitty. I think it's a female, and if you guys are interested in adopting this kitty, go ahead and hit up our channel email and we'll get it to you. So that's a possibility as well. But you know, like I said, we do care about our animals here on Rods and Rifles. So let's get back into our LS. All right, so we've got everything pretty well out of the way here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the valve cover so we can do an inspection on it. And then I'll put it back on, we'll take it out and blow it off. I just kind of wanted to see what kind of shape this motor is actually in. Well, set that up there right now. want to move this stuff so we don't knock dirt into it, just in case. And I'm going to try to get some of this out of the way. All right, now. All right, so it's got little deposits here. Obviously, if you can see, it's got some deposits. Let's get in here a little closer. See if you can hand me a light, and we'll look down in here a little better. All right, that's all tight. I mean, it's got a little bit of deposits built up in it, but overall, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, yeah, not bad at all, actually. So, I think we got a pretty good buy on this one. So let's go ahead and get the other side checked here, and we'll kind of go from there.
Well, he got a phone call, so I'm hijacking his video. I'm just vacuuming out the valve covers where he didn't do it before, and the dust fell in there. And then, or not the valve, well, whatever, you know what the hell I'm talking about. But I'm gonna vacuum the rest of the motor, that way when it cracks the other side, he doesn't have to worry about the dirt and stuff falling in there as bad, so, yep. Alright.
Yeah, we'll probably need that for later, so we'll set that over there with the need later pile.
Best not be throwing stuff now.
So what do you think? Kind of dirty, but overall it's looking pretty good.
Yep. Needs clean out. Where do you want me to put these?
We'll have to set them somewhere where we have the with the coil packs, wherever we set the coil packs, because we'll need them bolts. I normally just put them right back in here, so I'll just screw them back into the valve cover. All right, here's your coil pack.
So quiet.
I know, but yeah, like I said, I think we got a pretty decent engine here. So you want to grab the 8mm in there in the drawer, and I'll swap them out. Should be the thing over there on the bench for it, and then. Well, while we're at it, I could just go ahead and see if these will come loose. Yep, sure will. Awesome. So we'll pull that off here in a little bit. Okay. Now we will just lift this up out of here, but pull this hose off if it will not crack and come off there. It didn't, so, all right. A little dirty. This side actually looks really good. So, I mean, if you look, come over and check this out. So, if you actually look down here, this side's really fairly clean compared to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Why is that side like that?
Probably because that side probably had a misfire, and they run it like that, and it built up some carbon in there, and that's probably what was causing the issue, because this side, you can tell it's been running clean.
Yeah.
No misfires or anything like that.
These look like a golder color, and that side.
Yeah, well, it has a lot of buildup over there, because it's probably not had regular oil changes, so when we go to replace like the gaskets and stuff on this, we'll clean this thing up. Mm-hmm. So we will set that back down here and go ahead and roll it out there and blow it off.
Yeah, you gotta move all your mess. Pretty cool idea for the valve covers, but I'll keep that secret.
Absolutely. All right, you want to grab a 15 mil and we'll swap these, and I'll see if that dipstick's going to come loose, because I'll pull that exhaust manifold off. I said dipstick. Dipstick.
That's too big.
That is too big. Needs to be a 3/8 drive. All right. So yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this out of here. All right. Hold the bolt. All right, yeah, it's loose. Sometimes it needs a little pressure to get these out of here, but I think it's going to come right out. Awesome. There's your dipstick. All right, now let's swap this and get this manifold out of the way. And no, we're not using any of these stock manifold bolts. They are trash. We probably will keep the stock manifolds. Hold that. All right.
Spark plugs.
Yeah. And it looks like, what is that? It's seeds.
Seeds.
It is seeds. There's been a mouse in the intake. Yeah, there's been a mouse back in here in the exhaust manifold and exhaust port. So we'll definitely want to blow that out. But overall, I mean, it's not bad. See that? And I guess I could go ahead and pull this engine mount off down here while we're at it.
And this motor came out of a what?
Come out of a Silverado.
Okay. What year Silverado?
I believe it was a 2000. If I remember correctly, what it was. Wow, that piece is just crusted. All right, so now we can see what we're dealing with. All right, quick inspection. Everything looks good. It's a little rusty, but I think once we get some paint on it, get it all stripped down on the front and cleaned up, I think it's going to look amazing. So let's go ahead and get some of this crud blowed off of this thing, and then I'll pull this like old wire harness here that they've cut out of the way, and then we can start working our way to some degreasing, put some of the, cover up some of the holes and stuff. All right, so we've got one last piece to get off here, and that way we can go ahead and get the LS pushed over the door and blown off, and we can try to get some of this crud off of it. I just want to get as many of the bracketry and stuff off as I possibly can, so we can at least try to get it as clean as we possibly can. Because obviously, if you can't tell, it's pretty crusty. I mean, let's go ahead and take a look here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We have dirt and dust, and looks like a Washburn mud nest down in the valley of the intake here. So we're going to try to pull it out there and take a brush to it and try to get some of this garbage cleaned off of it, and then we can start assessing what we're going to do to the engine and to make it look better. So let's get into this, and then we'll get this done. All right, so here's the issue we've got going on right here. We've got a exhaust manifold bolt that has rust welded itself to the manifold. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go and cut it off, and then I'll show you how we get the manifold bolts that are broken off here, and then this one that I cut off in an upcoming video. So you're going to want to watch that. So let's get this off here, and then we'll continue on with our cleaning of this LS. All right, now we've got this thing out here. We're going to go ahead and start blowing it off. and try to get as much of the stuff out of it as we possibly can. Oh man. Jesus Christ. What? Good Lord.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's still got a lot over in here.
All right.
But. Now we've got that pretty well cleaned off. All right, so this is actually a misfiring plug. If you notice, we pulled this one out. Now, if you notice, it's dark, discolored. The gap looks to be about 60 thousandths, and that's something that can cause a misfire if the gap is too wide, and that may be the case here. We don't know until we actually get it, you know, in running order and try to diagnose some of the issues. But for now, like I said, that is what a misfiring plug looks like because it's black. The others you saw are nice clean plugs. The diode is, you know, in good shape. So now you know the difference of that and what to look for when you're trying to figure out a junkyard LS, because what you want to see is like what this one here was. We'll recap that. Nice and clean diode, nice and white, not carboned up and not dark all the way around where it's been misfiring. So now you know what to look for. And honestly, you know, from all appearances, yes, this may have a few issues, but I think we've got a fairly decent motor here. So we're going to kind of keep checking into this, and we'll get back with you in just a second. Okay, so we're going to do a quick inspection on the plugs here so we know what the two, you know, what they look like here, so we kind of get a determination whether there was a misfire or what's going on with the engine. I'm going to do it on this side, but I'm going to start with the one here that's about middle ways. Then I'll go to the front and the back and just kind of see what they look like. So it looks like my old gasket pulled out. There's my spark plug socket. So let's get this out here. All right. Okay, so it doesn't look bad, but the gap is a bit wide on it. Obviously, like I said, this plug is burning fairly decent. It looks like it's around 60 thousandths, I would say, but you know, stock on these motors are 40, I believe, 40 or 42 thousandths. Now that's quite a bit. And that being said, that can actually cause a misfire issue. Now, if I've got a feeler gauge, I'll check it out and see what it looks like here, and I'll give you a gap on it exactly, pretty close. So, but I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's wide enough. Okay, he brought it to me here. So let's see. As of right now, let's see. Here is the stock, and now this is where we are. So we are almost over here to, looks like 57 thousandths on this one. So yeah, that's a bit high. That's a bit much. That's pretty open on this. But like I said, we'll keep going here and see if we can find another one. All right. Okay. This one. Oh wow. Well, that's definitely a misfiring plug. Now, a lot of times you hear us referring to spark plug gap, okay? So now what we're referring to is this right here. So this is the gap between the diode and the conductor. Now what happens is after an engine gets some miles on it and repeated spark and repeated wear and tear, so basically what happens is this opens up and that's your spark plug gap. Now like I said, you know, it's supposed to be somewhere around 42 thousandths. I can't remember, I believe it's 40, but depending on the application, 40 to 42 thousandths on an LS. Now, if we're looking at this, you know, that's all dark and charred, so that's not burning correctly. A correctly burning plug should be white, with the diode shouldn't have all the brown and nastiness, which indicates either an oil leak or some type of misfiring in the engine. Let's go ahead and check this out. Oh wow, that's almost 60 thousandths. Yeah, that's right on 60 thousandths of a gap. So that's probably why this plug is not firing correctly, because it is way too open. It's way too much gap, and that can cause a misfire and some other issues. But we'll stick it back in there because, like I said, obviously we're going to have to change the plugs out of this thing when we go to put it in the car, and that's the least of our concern right now, is just trying to make sure that the overall health of this engine is in good shape. So now we will go ahead, I'll let you hold on to that. Let's go ahead and pull this open. So we'll get that out of there. Oh, come on. It's wanting to. Oh, okay. So now that's a correctly firing plug. If you look at the colorization of it, the color is good on it, and it actually looks, you know, fairly decent for the mileage that's on this. Like I said, you can tell it's got quite a bit of miles on it because the gap's pretty open. But if you look right there, like I said, it is fairly clean, so it's been burning fairly well. So we'll stick this back in here, and like I said, that's pretty much where we're at on this now. We just kind of got to take our time and try to get some of this crud off this thing. Probably a little bit of I'm guessing engine degreaser and some
High pressure water.
Yep, high pressure water, that's right. So we'll get that done and we'll get back into it. So hang tight, let's get this over with. All right, so like I said, we have pretty well got this thing checked out on the engine, you know, plugs and how things are. Overall, it looks like it's fairly decent. What else would you expect with the junkyard LS? We won't know anything more until we actually get some fresh plugs in it and do a test fire once we get it in. But for now, everything looks okay. We don't exactly know. We're probably going to change some stuff up on the valve covers, but for right now, like I said, what we were saying was we need to try to get this thing cleaned up. So it's going to take some high pressure water and probably lots of engine degreaser. So that's something we're going to have to try to get this, so we can at least get something looking fairly decent when we get it in the Camaro. Because, well, I mean, if you're going to go through the task of trying to get it cleaned up and making the engine bay look great, you might as well make the engine look the part as well. So, you know, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be at least fairly decent. So, like I said, we'll get into that, and for now, like I said, that's pretty much all we got time for. But if you want to catch us on the next episode, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks.